Guys, have you ever tried reading someone else's handwriting? That's all messy and scattered. And doesn't that feel frustrating for you? Now imagine trying to understand code that is written in the same way, like no proper structure, random naming, and complicated logic all over the place. Hello and welcome everyone to this video on what is Clean ABAP by ZaranTech. Now, do you guys know that developers spend about 70% of their time just reading and understanding the existing code, and only 30% actually writing the new code? That's like spending 7 hours just figuring out what's going on and only 3 hours doing the actual work. Crazy, isn't it? Now think of Clean ABAP as having a set of rules for writing neat and organized code. Just like how we have grammar rules for clear, understandable sentences in English. So it's not about making code look pretty, but it's about writing code that anyone can understand and maintain easily. It's simple, just like how a well-organized room makes it easy to find any things. A clean code makes it easy to fix any problems and make changes when it is needed. So with this particular video, we will look at what Clean ABAP really means and how it can make your code better and easier to work with. But before we begin, make sure you subscribe to our ZaranTech YouTube channel and hit that bell icon to get regular updates from us.
Okay guys, let's start with our agenda for today's video. So firstly, we'll start with an introduction to Clean ABAP. Then we will take an overview of Clean ABAP development, and after that, we will see some best practices for implementing Clean ABAP, and lastly, we'll see their future trends and developments. So let's start with our first agenda pointer, introduction to Clean ABAP. Okay, so if I talk about Clean ABAP, then that is basically a set of coding conventions that are aimed at making ABAP code more readable and maintainable. So you can think of it as a coding guide inspired by clean code principles that encourages ABAP developers to write code that's easy to understand and follow for both current and future team members. For example, instead of using unclear variable names like X or temp, Clean ABAP suggests that names like customer data or order total is more suitable there. And this way, anyone that is reading the code can immediately tell what's exactly happening there. Another example is simplifying logic. So rather than writing lengthy nested conditions, Clean ABAP encourages breaking down that code into small logical pieces, which makes it easier to debug and update later on. So in short, if I tell Clean ABAP is a key resource for ABAP developers that's helping team to create code that is not only functional but also clear and efficient at the same time. Now imagine writing ABAP code that is not only efficient today but will continue to serve your team well in the future. And that's the power of Clean ABAP, guys. So here, if we talk about the purpose of Clean ABAP, then let's start with first thing. It boosts the collaboration among developers. You can think of it as a common coding language everyone can understand no matter what the project is. Next, it enhances code quality and minimizes the technical debt. For example, a well-structured code means fewer errors down the line there, right? Clean ABAP also promotes best practices across all your ABAP programming. So it's basically like having a guidebook for consistent and clear code structure. And by following these standards, we ensure that our applications are maintainable long term, avoiding the headaches of messy codes in that case. And finally, Clean ABAP encourages a culture of continuous improvement. So it's not just about writing code, but it's basically writing better code every time there. And Clean ABAP isn't just a style, but it's basically a foundation for more reliable and efficient development. Now moving forward, do you even know that a clean and efficient ABAP code can transform the way your development team works? Clean ABAP isn't just about writing code, but it's basically about writing better code that drives better results. Here is what it matters. First thing, Clean ABAP boosts code readability. Imagine onboarding new team members. Well organized code means they can dive into it faster, making onboarding more smooth and efficient, right? Next, clean code leads to better maintainability. So, with streamlined code, updates and future improvements can become more simpler, saving your team time and cutting the down on cost there. Clean ABAP also ensures fewer bugs and errors by enforcing thorough testing there. And this way, your team catches issues early, reducing fixes later. And additionally, it enhances developer satisfaction and productivity. So when code is easier to work with, developers feel more accomplished and improving the team morale there. And finally, Clean ABAP promotes collaboration, which means developers can work together effortlessly as consistent code makes for a unified team approach. Okay. Now moving forward, let's see the core principles of Clean ABAP. So the very first principle is readability. Your code should be straightforward to read and understand. You can think of it like a well-organized book. Each line should tell its own story there. Next is simplicity. Avoid complex solutions where simpler ones will do. For example, instead of laying multiple nested loops, see if a streamlined approach can achieve the same results there. Consistency is also one of the crucial things. Following uniform coding conventions help them maintain a predictable structure, making it easier for others to jump in there. Then we have clarity. So use meaningful names for variables and functions. Instead of X or temp, try using names like customer age or order date to add instant understanding there. And finally, testability. So the code should be easy to test and validate there. So design functions and methods that can be checked in isolation for fewer errors and cleaner outputs there. Now moving to our next agenda pointer, let's take an overview of Clean ABAP development there. So Clean ABAP basically simplifies coding by promoting clear, consistent and maintainable code in SAP application. And this approach mainly focuses on readability, best practices, and efficiency, making development more faster and easier in a long run for others. Okay. So now, have you ever wondered why some code is instantly readable while other code feels like a bit puzzled there? So effective naming conventions are often the key. So let's dive in a few practical tips that make your code more easier to understand for others. Start with meaningful and descriptive names. For example, instead of naming a variable A, name it amount if it stores a value there. These small changes basically enhances clarity for anyone reading your code. Avoid abbreviations unless they are widely recognized. For instance, AVG is okay for average, but abbreviating customer to CUST can be a bit confusing for others. Use camel case for class names and methods. A class name like order processor reads easily as does as a method called calculate total. For variables and constants, stick with lowercase. So instead of using a full uppercase for the names, use lowercase for variables and constants naming. And finally, consider prefixing interface names with if and class names with Z or Y to make their roles clear at a glance. And this approach streamlines understanding across the teams there. Okay, now did you even know that a well-placed comments can be as crucial as the code itself? So when it comes to commenting in a code, clarity is key there. Good commenting practices go beyond explaining what code exactly does. They focus on the why. For example, instead of stating this line adds 5, use comments to explain why you are adding 5, such as adding 5 to adjust for offset here. Next, avoid redundant comments that simply repeat the code. If a line says plus equals to value, then there is no need to comment, add value to total. Instead, use comments to share unique insights that might not be immediately obvious there. Keep comments more clear and concise, and remember to update them as you modify your code. Outdated comments can often lead to confusion, so accuracy is also very essential there. For complex logic, use block comments to break down your approach there. Effective comments enhances readability and helps your teammates understand the reasoning behind your code and making your work invaluable for the long-term maintenance there. Okay. Now let us explore the key principles of effective code structure. Number one, organize your code into logical blocks. This means that grouping related functionalities together, like having a separate section for data processing and another for user interface. Use proper indentation and spacing to enhance clarity. For instance, in Python, proper indentation is very crucial as it defines the code blocks there. Next, always maintain a consistent structure throughout your code base. This basically helps everyone on your team follow along easily. For example, if you use camel case for function names, stick to it till your whole code. Moreover, avoid long methods. Instead, prefer small focused ones. And this approach not only makes your code more readable but also simplifies debugging for others. For instance, a function that calculates tax can be broken down into smaller functions that handles different parts of the calculations. So basically, by following these particular guidelines, you will write code that's not only functional but also easy to maintain for you and others also. Okay, now imagine a user encountering an error in your application and having literally no clue why it happened. So here, a proper error handling can prevent this particular scenario. Effective error handling is essential for smooth user experience. So first, use a structured error handling, like try-catch blocks to manage errors neatly. For example, if you are processing user input, wrap the code in a try-catch block to catch any exceptions that may arise there. Next, ensure your error messages are clear and informative. So instead of vague messages, tell users exactly what went wrong and how to fix it. For instance, of saying error occurred, try invalid input. Please enter a valid email address. And additionally, log errors for easier troubleshooting. Maintain logs to help developers pinpoint issues quickly. Use exception classes to categorize errors, make it easier to understand the type of problems there. And finally, avoid silent failures. Always handle exceptions explicitly so that you know when and where something goes wrong, ensuring your applications remain robust and reliable for you and others also. Now, you know that effective unit testing can significantly improve your ABAP code quality. So, unit testing in Clean ABAP is one of the essential things for maintaining robust applications. So, start by writing unit tests for all critical logic in your code. For example, if you have a function that calculates discounts, ensure you test various scenarios like different discount rates and edge cases. Utilize the ABAP unit framework for efficient testing. This framework simplifies the testing process and integrates seamlessly into your development workflow. Aim for high test coverage to guarantee reliability. Ideally, your test should cover at least 80% of your code. Next comes refactor your code to make it more testable. This means that breaking down complex methods into smaller ones, manageable pieces, which not only helps with testing but also enhances code readability. Lastly, use descriptive names for your test methods. For instance, instead of naming a test method test1, name it something like test calculate discount for high value customer. So this clarity makes it easier for you and your team to understand the purpose of each test. Okay, now if you're tired of slow application performance, let's discover the secrets to efficiency with these best practices for performance optimization. First, use efficient data access methods. For instance, instead of retrieving large datasets, filter your queries to fetch only what's necessary there. This can significantly speed up your application there. Next, minimize database calls. If you need to update your records, consider using select for update. This locks the rows and avoids race condition, ensuring a smoother transactions there. Additionally, avoid unnecessary computations in loops. If you have calculation that can be performed outside of loops, do so to reduce the processing time there. Also, leverage buffer techniques for frequently accessed data. For example, caching data in memory can drastically reduce load times for you. And lastly, always profile your code to identify performance bottlenecks. Tools like performance profilers can help you pinpoint where your application is lagging. So, basically, by following these particular practices, you can dramatically enhance your application's performance and provide a better user experience there.
Hey guys, since you've been watching this video till now, I can definitely see your interest in learning through these particular tutorials. So if you're enjoying our tutorial style, we'd love to have you join our YouTube community family. So just click that subscribe button below here. It's absolutely free for you, and your support definitely helps us bring more tutorial content your way. Now, let's continue where we left off.
Okay, now going forward, let's explore the best practices for implementing Clean ABAP, which basically ensures maintainability and clarity in your projects. So let's start with how modularization and reusability can streamline your programming efforts. So to start, utilize function modules and methods for common tasks. For instance, if you often validate user input, create a function module dedicated to this particular task, making it easy to call whenever you need it. Next, focus on creating reusable components for shared logic. Think about a library for data processing that can be used across different applications. And this saves times and enhances your consistency also. Next, group related functions into classes. For example, a user class can encapsulate functions like create, delete, and update, making your code organized and easy to manage them. Use interfaces to define contracts for reusability. This ensures that different parts of your program can interact without tightly coupling them together. And finally, document your reusable components for easy reference. Clear documentation helps other developers understand and utilize your work efficiently. So now in software development, comprehensive documentation is very crucial. It basically helps maintain the clarity and consistency across the code bases. For instance, using inline documentation tools in ABAP ensures that every piece of code is understandable at a glance. Conducting regular code reviews is another vital practice. These reviews not only help maintain adherence to coding standards but also allow for collective learning. For example, a developer might spot an efficiency issue that others overlooked, enhancing the overall quality of the code. Encouraging peer feedback is also very essential. It fosters a collaborative environment where developers feel supported in sharing ideas. And finally, documentation is an invaluable resource for guiding new developers. It provides them with a roadmap, enabling them to get up speed quickly. And by prioritizing documentation and code review, teams can boost productivity and maintain high standards of code quality there. Now, in today's fast paced tech world, having the right tool is very essential for a successful software development. First, use modern IDE tools like ABAP Development Tools ADT for streamlined coding. This tools enhances your productivity and making coding much more easier for you. Next, enable syntax checking and code analysis features to catch errors early on. This helps maintain clean and error-free code for you. And don't forget to configure version control systems like Git. It is crucial for tracking changes and collaborating with team members effectively. Maintaining coding standards is also vital too here. Set up your IDE to enforce these standards, ensuring consistency across your code base. And lastly, Regularly update your tools to leverage new features and enhancements. Keeping your development environment up to date can lead to significant improvements in your workflow. Now, if we talk about community and resources, start by connecting with fellow developers, which opens up doors to invaluable support and resources. Do participate in online forums like SAP Community and Stack Overflow, where basically you can ask questions, share your insights, and learn from others' experiences. For example, joining a discussion about performance optimization can help you discover new techniques that improve your coding skills. And don't miss out on coding challenges and workshops. Platforms like HackerRank and Code Wars offer some great opportunities to sharpen your skills while collaborating with others. Also, stay updated with the latest ABAP enhancements is crucial thing. Follow SAP's official blogs and newsletters to learn about their new features as they get released. And finally, sharing your experiences and solutions with your peers not only solidifies your knowledge but also helps others in their community. Remember, collaboration is a key to growth in the ever evolving world of ABAP. Okay, guys, now transitioning to Clean ABAP is more than just a change. It's basically like a journey towards better coding practices. So, start by assessing your team's current coding practices. Take a closer look at how you write code, what works, and what doesn't. Identify areas for improvement based on Clean ABAP principles such as readability and maintainability. For example, if your team often uses complex statements, consider simplifying them for clarity. Gradually implement these changes to avoid disruptions in your projects. Next, provide training sessions on Clean ABAP guidelines. Engage your team in learning best practices from naming conventions to modularization. And finally, establish a culture of quality coding within your team. Encourage open discussions about coding challenges and celebrate their improvements. And with these particular steps, you will foster an environment where Clean ABAP thrives, leading to cleaner, more efficient code. Okay, now implementing Clean ABAP can unlock that potential, but it doesn't come without challenges. Yes, guys, it have do challenges in implementing Clean ABAP. One major hurdle is the resistance to change. Teams often clinch to established practices, making it hard to adopt new standards. For example, a developer might prefer their familiar coding style even when Clean ABAP guidelines offer them with a significant benefits. Next, there's the challenge of balancing clean code principles with project deadlines. Teams may rush to meet tight schedules, sacrifice code quality there. Additionally, training all team members on new standards can be daunting. If one member isn't on board, it can affect the entire team there. Ensuring consistent application of standards across teams is another critical challenge. Variations in understanding can lead to code inconsistencies there. And finally, managing legacy code during the transitions can slow down the process. Teams must find ways to integrate new standards without disrupting existing systems there. So basically, overcoming these challenges is crucial for successful Clean ABAP implementations. Now lastly, let's discover the future trends and developments that will enhance code quality, maintainability, and performance in your ABAP projects. So as SAP continues to evolve, the standards for Clean ABAP are also changing, integrating modern programming paradigms like object-oriented programming and functional programming. For example, the use of cleaner, more readable code not only enhances maintainability but also improves collaboration among the developers. Moreover, that there is an increasing emphasis on automation and testing, that ensuring that code is robust and less prone to errors. Tools like ABAP Unit and ATC are becoming essential in these contexts. The SAP community plays a vital role here, actively contributing best practices that shapes these standards. And as new technologies emerge in the SAP ecosystem, adapting to them is very crucial for the developers. Whether it's integrating with cloud platforms or leveraging machine learning, staying updated is key for them. Embracing these challenges will not only keep your skills relevant but also empower you to create the high quality applications that meet the future demands of SAP users. So that's all here for this video, guys. I hope by now you have a good understanding of what actually Clean ABAP is, why is it so important for ABAP developers, and how it makes it easy to understand and follow for both current and future team members.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching this particular tutorial till the very end. So if you found this particular video very helpful, then we have plenty more tutorial just like this on our channel. So make sure you hit that subscribe button here and ring the bell icon to stay updated with our latest tutorials like this. So that's all here for this video. See you in the next one.
Thank you for watching our video. Are you looking to elevate your career in SAP or start learning from the ground up? Look no further than our comprehensive SAP courses on the Teachable platform. We have partnered with industry experts to bring you self-paced courses covering the entire spectrum of SAP solutions, ERP, HANA, SuccessFactors, and more. Learn at your convenience from anywhere in the world. SAP professionals design our courses with years of real-world experience. They will guide you through comprehensive curriculums, blending theory with practical applications and real-world examples. Engage with interactive video lessons, quizzes, exercises, and hands-on projects. Apply what you learn immediately and solidify your understanding. Once enrolled, you will have lifetime access to the course materials, allowing you to revisit them whenever needed. And upon completion, you will receive a certificate to showcase your newfound SAP expertise. With affordable pricing and flexible payment options, investing in your SAP education has always been challenging. Take advantage of this opportunity to take your skills to new heights. Head over to our Teachable page, explore our course offerings, and enroll today to kickstart your journey toward becoming an SAP expert.